The Joe Rogan Experience.
I don't think this is gonna work. Oh my god, I can't see. Ugh.
Oh, fuck.
I can't, like...
All
I can't
right.
see at all. I don't know how you're supposed to see out of that.
This is a deadly outfit.
I guess I'll just put that on when I want to say something incriminating.
Yeah. So what do you mean?
Well, the thought police. So pull up that article, Jamie, at the beginning of this podcast. We should probably go right into this. Because apparently the Department of Homeland Security and Twitter
Yeah.
were working together. Are we on?
Yeah.
I don't hear. There we go. The Department of Homeland Security was they had a plan to police information, and they were working with Twitter in some fashion. Like, look at this. Quietly broadening its effort to curb speech it considers dangerous.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
An investigation by The Intercept has found years of internal DHS memos, emails, and documents obtained via leaks and an ongoing and an ongoing lawsuit, as well as public documents, illustrate the expansive effort by the agency to influence the tech platforms.
Shit.
The work, much of which remains unknown to the American public, came into clear view earlier this year when DHS announced a new disinformation governance board.
Good Lord.
A panel designed to police misinformation, false information spread unintentionally, disinformation, false information spread internally, intentionally, and malinformation, factual information shared typically out of context with harmful intent. Malinformation's a weird one.
Malinformation?
Yeah, because it's factual, but it's shared typically out of context.
With harmful intent. That's where you're like, look, you don't understand why we mowed down those reporters with a chopper. It's out of context. You can't just show the video.
While the board was widely ridiculed, immediately scaled back, and then shut down within a few months, other initiatives are underway as DHS pivots to monitoring social media now that its original mandate, the war on terror, has been wound down. So that's been wound down, apparently.
Oh.
Platforms have got to get comfortable with government. It's really interesting how hesitant they remain. Microsoft executive Matt Masterson, former DHS official, texted Jen Easterly. Look at that. Platforms have got to get comfortable with government. Oh,
what does that mean?
I don't know. Tim Pool sent me this morning. I didn't get a chance to read. I was in the gym.
Look, you got to get comfortable with government.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Just get comfortable.
Yeah, why aren't you comfortable?
Cozy up.
Why aren't you
Put on some sweatpants. Cozy up. Wow, that's creepy. I mean, I guess we all kind of suspected it, though, right? It's not like anybody. Is that a shocker?
Well, what Tim Pool said is that Twitter was working with them. That I guess they weren't being honest about it. They were working with them. Were you telling me that Jimmy Kimmel tweeted something and tried to delete it?
Yeah, it looks like I could be wrong about this, but Kimmel was pissed at Musk.
Why?
For buying Twitter.
But what does he care? What is he mad about?
So basically, like, a lot of people seem to be really upset with Elon for buying Twitter because Elon is saying that he's not going to censor Twitter anymore. He's going to let, all the banned people are going to get back on, apparently. It's like they're trying to figure it out, how to do it. And so this has upset a lot of people who were happy with the idea that it was being hyper moderated in a way I think that fits in with their politics.
Yes.
Right? That was the idea.
That's
so it's
the idea.
So their team was in control for a second, and now somebody, you know what it reminds me of? It's like when a new booker shows up at a comedy club. And all the comics start talking shit. It's scary.
It has been interesting over the years to watch you blossom from the electric car guy into a fully formed piece of shit. Wow.
And look, see, it says this tweet was deleted by the tweet author.
Learn more.
He was replying to a tweet that Elon tweeted.
And what was the tweet?
Elon deleted, which I think was the thing.
That was a tweet where it's this. It's like the Santa Monica Observer or something like that, was tweeting something about the Paul Pelosi attack. And that Santa Monica Observer has been known to tweet things that aren't correct, or at least has, or not tweet, publish things that aren't correct. At least has in one instance that they were citing, something about Hillary Clinton. I don't know, but I think what Elon tweeted was there's a tiny chance that we might not be getting the full story, and then he tweeted that story.
Yeah.
And this is the idea that maybe Paul Pelosi knew this guy, because people have been trying to pin that guy and say that he was a right-wing MAGA guy. But didn't he live in like some fucking hippie collective and he made like hemp jewelry?
He did Woo to Q pipeline. He went Woo to Q. So like he apparently had some kind of blog or something. I think he started off Woo, super hippie, ayahuasca, mystical, and then gradually kind of devolved into Q. QAnon.
Twitter's fact-checking the President of the United States' incorrect facts.
Right.
Which is crazy that that's happening.
Well, this is the emperor wears no clothes.
Yes.
That's the fable, right? Like these naked dudes going around. Everybody's scared of him, so they're like, beautiful robes.
Yes.
And then some kid is like, he's naked. Look, he's obviously naked. And then another person's like, oh yeah, you're right, he is. It's like, that is the like, I guess the hope of the internet is that truth comes out and it destabilizes bad structures.
Exactly.
You want to throw a monkey wrench into shit that doesn't work so that it like stops working and you rebuild instead of patching up old wobbly things that are like smoke's coming out, gears are flying off, and you're supposed to pretend like it's working.
Right.
That's where it gets creepy. It's like, if the machine that is failing starts telling tech companies or whoever like what is real and what isn't, then a broken machine is then like articulating truth, which then, so if someone starts telling the truth, the emperor wears no clothes. And then like Twitter throws up underneath like this is potential misinformation or whatever.
And that's why this Department of Homeland Security thing is so creepy. Because that would be the same people that are telling you things that are factually inaccurate or that are getting fact-checked on Twitter would be the very people that would get to dictate what is malinformation.
Yeah.
Like, malinformation was the craziest one. Like, everybody thinks you shouldn't be able to say things that aren't true, right? Or if you do, you must correct them. Like, are you telling the truth or are you manipulating with lies?
Right.
You can't manipulate with lies. So if maybe you said something and you thought it was true, let's correct that.
Yeah.
But if you just keep doing that over and over and over again, you never admit that, and then you're the one who gets to dictate what's malinformation.
Right.
It's like the death throes of a dying system, and it's reaching out in a time, and it's acting and behaving the way it used to be able to behave when it had total access to what people get informed about or not.
Right.
It had complete control of that at one point in time.
Well, it's massive. I mean, we're talking about how many offices are filled with people working for the government right now. Like how many? If you put them in a building, like would the building go all the way to the moon? Would it be like a high rise that went in? Probably the moon would be covered with government office buildings. But like it's massive. And then it's so huge that, just people get put into departments. And some of the people that get put in the departments are good, smart people. And some of the people that get put in the departments, they suck. And
right, like everything in all walks of life.
Yeah, right. And
Yes.
that's all it takes. So you get one, like, everybody's had a shitty manager. You get one shitty manager in some job where, like, he's got a little or more power than he's supposed to have. And then he's probably got people around him who are like, this is a bad idea. And he's like, well, you're fired. And then people come in who are like, this is a really good idea. He's like, you're a genius if you think this is a good idea, because it is. Then you have this like terrible geometry of like where a contagion happens, where this one asshole like starts getting surrounded by concentric circles of assholes. And then those people have so much power. And that's, I think, what's going on with it is it's just like there's just too many people running things, and of those people, there's got to be some that are great. I know there is. And there's some that are just abject, monstrous, power-hungry, coked-up assholes. And I think that's when you start seeing shit like that. It's clearly a sign of, I mean, again, maybe I'm being naive, but I'd like to imagine that that's coming from like a few assholes. That's not coming from the totality of the U.S. government, all of it. It's just coming from like, what, 1,000 assholes?
But then there's also the real problem of actual misinformation that's being spread by bad parties, right? Like, we know that. We know that there's misinformation that gets spread by bad governments, by like our enemies. Like, we know that there's a whole industry to like these Russian troll farms.
Sure.
You know, we've talked about this before, but on Facebook, 19 of the top 20 Christian sites were being run by Russian troll farms.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
You know how nuts that is?
Fucked up.
That means they're like some conversations that are insane that don't make any sense. Like, how is this a conversation? Well, it might not be. It might be we're getting manipulated. It might be there's a bunch of people. And then the problem with people, we were talking about before, that we have this natural inclination to follow leaders. We do that online too, man. And if there's like some really good tweets that point in a certain direction, people will start agreeing with it.
Right.
People are easily, the idea that manipulation only applies to like verbal or written in a statement. No, it fucking applies to tweets too. You can manipulate people.
Dude,
with
I
stuff.
get manipulated all the fucking time. Are you kidding me? I'm like always getting caught up in bullshit online. I like go through like phases of like, yeah, oh my God. I pendulum between teams, or I'll get caught up in some like deep, crazy conspiracy. It's a very potent, by the way, I'm not saying it's potent because I get manipulated easily, but it's a potent drug.
Yes,
the internet's a potent drug. There's all kinds of operators. It's not just Russian troll forums. It's Discordians. It's just basic like trolls who are bored. It's who knows what. Probably some cult we'll never know about. Just some weird cult on an island somewhere with some nefarious purpose that's like trying to put some certain information on the internet. It's a ocean of madness. And maybe like the horrible idea is, okay, we can control the ocean of madness. That's what we're going to do, because some of these people are other states trying to cause discord in our society that could lead to a civil war, the collapse of the United States. We've got to do something about this. Call up Twitter. Listen, it's a problem. You got to let us tell you what's real and what's not real. And at first, maybe that's great. It's like, look, this is 100% coming from Russian trolls. This whatever this is Russian AI trolls. But then, all of a sudden, the president calls that department. Is like, hey, is there any way that you could also start applying that to people who say that I seem like I'm kind of out of it? You know what I mean? And then